So think of royalties as a new financing instrument. If, for instance, in the pharmaceutical space, someone wants to buy the IP of a new biological product and cannot finance it, the royalty is a way to get financing to buy an IP like that, in return to give away a slice of the revenues. So it's a very different way of financing essentially the ownership of an asset, typically some IP. This is something that becomes more and more popular and also is growing massively because of this reconfiguration of the economy that we see. So pharmaceutical industry is a good example, where you see a proliferation of products and you see increasingly companies, specialty pharma companies, that commercialize these products, but they might not have the balance sheet for direct traditional financing of these IPs, and this is where royalties come in. But royalties are applicable in many, many more areas. It's not only pharmaceuticals. I mean, they're historically known for media and music financing. You see them in energy. But I think increasingly you'll see many, many more modern businesses that see that financing as more effective as a traditional loan, and that's why we believe that this is an industry that will be a multi-trillion-dollar industry and probably an anchor in the private market financing going forward.
So can you elaborate that point a little bit more? Because you mentioned multiple different sectors, but would it be about cash generation that would work better for certain companies in this particular portfolio?
So going back to my example, so from the actual issuer's perspective, the company that accepts that financing, it's very straightforward. They might not have the balance sheet, the robustness of an operational result that gives them credit at really attractive terms. So by selling part of the revenue, the actual investor doesn't so much get concerned about the cost of that business and maybe the little bit earlier stage of that business. And so that's very beneficial for the issuer, but then also for the investor. What we are offering to our investors is actually a multi-sector approach. And this is very unique. I don't think this was ever done before. Why do we think this is so central? Also in royalties, you see that different industries, they go through certain cycles, driven by prices and by momentum, like music, like energy, or like, for instance, pharmaceutical products. But by only combining them, you get some of that noise out, and you get actually very robust returns, very uncorrelated returns to other asset classes. That's, I think, what attracts the investors so much about this.